move, especially when that land lies on the other side of the world. Erin Pinnock left Australia for the UK 15 years ago. Now she's desperate to return home.
I'd said it from the beginning that I wanted to go back, like adamantly wanted to go back.
But for husband Chris, that's a massive ask.
I don't want to leave my family, but Erin wants to be with her family. It is as simple as that.
Torn between families on opposite sides of the globe, Erin has 1 week to persuade Chris to make the move.
If at the end of the week it's not viable, then that's a no, and that would be devastating.
Around 850 people a week leave the UK to start a new life in Australia. That's 2.5 jumbo jets full of Brits drawn by the appeal of a land offering 300 days of sunshine every year. But not everyone makes it work. Every 7 days, 200 Brits return home, having given up on their dream. Erin Pinnock feels pangs of guilt at the prospect of potentially taking her husband away from their life in the UK. But in her heart, she's desperate to return home to her native country of Australia. Ahead of her lies 1 week and her best shot ever at persuading him to make the move. The journey from London has seen the Pinnocks spend 19 hours in the air, but as they land in Perth, Erin's delighted to be back on her home turf.
Seeing the outdoors, the houses, all that, it just makes me excited. It really just makes me feel like I'm at home.
It's a trip they've made before, but this one will be different.
We always come over on holidays, and I really think this is going to be a chance for us to actually see if it's somewhere where we actually want to live.
But the journey's already given Chris plenty of time for serious thought.
The distance is an issue because it is, even though it's only a day away, it's not as if you can just pop over. Doing that journey for the last time would be pretty difficult to do, absolutely.
Ahead lies a week which will see Erin attempt to convince Chris once and for all to move down under for good. The Pinnocks are from London. Their mum, Erin, dad, Chris, and Isla, who's nearly 2. Erin's originally from Perth in Australia, but moved to the UK with her parents and sisters when she was just 13.
My dad came over here for work, and he was really enjoying living in the UK, so he thought it'd be brilliant to kind of start a new adventure as a family and move over.
Life in a new country halfway around the world was full of excitement for the teenager, and although she missed Australia, she knew the move wasn't permanent.
I knew that this was a short period of time, I'm having fun, and then I would get to go back to Australia and continue my life back there.
But just 2 years later, a classroom romance would see everything change.
About 16 when we met, so met
I was
at school.
15. We met in the first few days, weeks, and got to know one another, and just kind of
Got stuck together.
From the moment they met, Erin was upfront with Chris about wanting to return down under.
From the beginning, you always kind of said, like, eventually you wanted to go home.
Ever since meeting Chris and getting with Chris, I've always said I've wanted to go back.
12 years later, though, and 14 years after her family's temporary move, Erin and her parents are still in the UK, despite a somewhat disputed promise.
When I asked for your hand in marriage, both your parents sat there and went, yeah. And then a week later, they went, I think we overlooked that moment. Yeah.
And then what did they say to you?
It said on the presumption that you'd be going back.
Yes. So to hand me over to you, the agreement was you would go to Australia.
Erin's 2 sisters have made the move back home. Having settled in Perth, it means her once close family are now split across the globe.
I miss every second with my sisters and their family, and watching them live their lives and their children to grow up over a computer screen is not what I had envisaged.
Erin's now desperate to be reunited with her sisters, and if the couple did move, the chances are her parents would follow, meaning her whole family would be back together again.
Cheers. Having Isla made me realise how much I'd missed out on with my sisters. That has been a major driving force to really start to be back with my family again.
But there's one thing standing in her way. Husband Chris wants to stay in the UK for exactly the same reasons she wants to go.
Leaving my family for me would be killer. It would be horrible. I don't want to leave my family.
Moving would mean tearing Chris away from his family, including Alex, his identical twin. The thought leaves Erin riddled with guilt.
I feel selfish having to say to him that you have to choose my family over your family.
And family wouldn't be the only sacrifice Chris would be making. He's worked hard to establish a career in finance and worries about having to start again.
It's a massive risk for us to move, given my job situation. I have a very good career where I'm at. It's not just a job, it is a career. So it's a massive risk for me to kind of give that up and walk into something new.
Deciding where to put down roots is a dilemma the couple have wrestled with for more than a decade.
I've said it from the beginning that I wanted to go back, like adamantly wanted to go back. We got it down to 2 years at one point, and then those 2 years lapsed, and I suddenly realised that that was 7 years ago now.
We've always just buried our heads. It's been like that for 12 years.
Chris has finally agreed to consider a future down under, but it's going to take a lot to convince him to leave behind what he has at home.
We're very happy with pretty much every aspect of our life here. If we could move Erin's sisters back here, there wouldn't be a problem, and Erin's family back here. It's not so much a case of Australia versus England as a case of family over family.
The week ahead will see Erin's dream of returning home either come true or fade forever.
This week does hold a lot for us because I think we want to know if moving to Australia is viable. And if at the end of the week it's not viable, then that's a no. And that would be devastating.
The Pinnocks are spending their trial week in Perth, Erin's original hometown, and an hour's drive from her sisters. Perth's famed for its sunshine and natural beauty and has been declared one of the top 10 most livable cities in the world. It's late and dark when the family arrive at their temporary base. Will this modern waterfront home get the week off to a good start?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is what we'd be looking for.
It's everything that you want.
So far, so good.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, this is lovely.
And it's not long before Erin starts the hard sell.
Could you imagine waking up to this every morning?
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad.
I know, it's beautiful.
Despite the darkness, it's a positive start. But the size of the decision they'll soon face is already dawning on Chris and Erin.
There's a lot of pressure on me and Erin this week. It's an important decision because there's family involved.
This week is really kind of finalise all these discussions and really put a line under them, either kind of like yay or nay, will we, won't we? And even if it's not this second, then when?
Back in the UK, home for the Pinnocks is a 4-bedroom terraced house in London.
Our house, we're extremely happy with.
We've worked really hard to get this property to look and feel how we want it to be, and we're really proud of how it looks.
The couple have a healthy budget of £650,000 for a home down under, and clear ideas of what it should have.
It needs to have kind of a minimum of 4 bedrooms because we want families to come over and stay with us.
It would need to be close to the beach, close to the station for me to get into the city.
Balconies to watch the sun setting. I think that's the dream. That's like all-encompassing. If we got all that, I don't think you'd get me back on the aeroplane.
To give the Pinnocks an idea of what their money could buy in Perth, we'll show them 3 houses, 2 close to their budget and a third which could offer everything they want from a dream home. The search begins in Hall's Head, near the coastal suburb of Mandurah. 45 miles south of Perth, the area boasts the best of both ocean and canal-side living. Will this modern 4-bedroom family home be perfect for the Pinnocks?
Oh, that's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
It's really nice and big and open.
It's a good start.
It's a little boy's room.
It's a good size room.
Do you know that the bonus of Australian properties is they always have built-in wardrobes?
Or we could just put built-in wardrobes in our house. Could happen.
Yeah.
Nice try, Chris. The master bedroom impresses.
Oh, wow. It's beautiful.
I think it's really, really nice. A bit of a dream of an ensuite.
It's amazing ensuite. Big push.
And Isla likes the look of the living room.
A swimming pool.
That's nice.
I know, I haven't even looked at this. I haven't even looked at this room.
I was going to say, why don't you look at the room first?
Because you've got that outside.
Straight.
That's what you want. That's why you moved to Australia.
Yeah, no, it'd be lovely out here in summer. Absolutely.
Could Chris already be seeing the upsides of life down under?
Grass area, play area, trampoline, and then a beautiful pool.
His reaction's exactly what Erin was hoping for.
This is a good start for convincing Chris. I think starting to make him realise that we've got all this space is what's exciting for me.
What's that?
This property's been designed to take advantage of spectacular ocean views.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
What you move halfway around the world for. And look at that.
See, there's your outdoor area.
You can just hear the ocean. You can smell it. It's just beautiful.
It appears Chris could imagine calling this house a home.
You could actually
Yeah.
put...
You can put a dining room table and
the other
sofas.
side of the sofa there, and then have a dining table there. It's really, really big.
But a possible 45-mile commute gives him pause for thought.
For me, the location isn't brilliant.
So for this, it's the compromise is the commute.
Yeah, it's a big compromise though. The whole point is supposed to be work life and coming back, spend more time with the family, not more time in the car.
All right. To be continued.
Erin's not going to give up easily. But is this somewhere the couple could afford to live on their £650,000 budget?
I'm finding it difficult to judge.
I think it's going to be top of our budget. Are you going to help Daddy turn it over? So we're thinking top, like 650?
Something like that, I would. You going to turn it over, Isla? There you go.
That's £13,000 over budget.
So that's £663,000.
Quite a lot.
More than we were hoping for.
It's top end of our budget, like top. That's a deal breaker.
Right. This is not a house. Really?
It's a disappointing start for Erin. Despite the appeal of a pool, Chris wasn't impressed by the price or commute. Will property number 2 help win him round? While Isla's looked after by a childminder, the couple's next stop is Meadow Springs. Near Erin's sisters, the area's also closer to the city than the last property, so could mean a shorter commute for Chris. With 4 bedrooms and just a short drive to the beach as Erin wanted, this family home could offer the Pinnocks everything they've been looking for.
Oh, wow.
Ticks your box.
It does. That huge big entry hall, I love it. Oh, I really like it.
It's a massive open plan, just what we'd be looking for.
Chris is making all the right noises.
This feels better. The house flows better.
It's not as modern as the first property, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
This, to me, feels like a family home, and I can really picture myself living here.
Yes, the space is very nice. I could see myself living in a space like this.
Upstairs, the spacious bedrooms go down well.
We've got
Again.
3 double bedrooms.
3 decent sizes.
So is there a master? So is it going to be 3 big double bedrooms and a master?
Spot on, Erin. And the master bedroom even has its own little sitting room.
I like that.
So this is the big feature of the house.
That's nice. Wow.
Yeah, this is huge.
Erin thinks it could be the perfect property for parents.
There's enough space in this house for me to have all my family round very regularly, and there's enough space for your family to come visit us.
And building outside offers even more potential.
Oh, wow.
This is nice.
This is like a party room, isn't it?
Yeah, this is great entertainment.
It's an amazing entertaining space.
Although Chris suddenly has another thought.
This area outside makes me want to do something similar down the end of our garden.
But Erin reminds him of one small problem.
You'd never use it because you'd have to face torrential rains with your umbrella running down to the back of the garden to get there.
It doesn't rain in England. It's a myth.
Right, Chris. This house has made a good impression on both Erin and Chris, but will being closer to the city mean it's further from their £650,000 budget?
I would hoping this would be under £600,000.
For me, I think this would be around about the dollars mark, 850 to 950,
So what's that in pounds?
about 5 to 550.
Right, should we look?
Go for it.
That's £153,000 under budget.
£497,000.
I hate when you're right.
I'm good. I'm pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
That's a lot under the last property.
That's a lot under our current property. We could move over here and our mortgage would be significantly less.
Yep.
This would mean that we would be able to keep something back in England.
Possibly.
Possibly. Which would be nice.
With property 2 providing a glimmer of hope for Erin, the couple move on to their final viewing of the day. Also in Hall's Head, this 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom modern family home is perched right on the waterfront. It should offer everything on the couple's dream home wish list, and the entrance is definitely impressive.
What?
This is different.
We've got marble columns. I don't know what to say.
I couldn't do marble columns.
And then you come through to this.
Yeah, this is
Amazing.
the kitchen opens to a large living area.
Oh my goodness.
Erin's attracted by the views, but Chris has got his eye on something else.
And you've got your bar as well, Erin.
Got a pool! Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Can you imagine laying in that pool and looking out over the canal?
It wouldn't be the worst thing, would it?
The kitchen's a big hit.
It's the biggest kitchen
It's
we've
the
seen,
biggest
right?
kitchen. It's got a really nice top, really neutral. It was probably, for me, one of the nicer kitchens we've seen, and it's got an amazing view.
Great view.
An alfresco dining area's ideal.
It's got a nice covered area.
It is literally just like another room, because even if it's raining or whatever, you can still...
Yeah, you'd still sit out here if it was raining and still have dinner out here most nights.
While the canal side pool is the icing on the cake.
Can you imagine going for a swim in that pool? That is amazing.
Most of the bedrooms have spacious en-suites,
Huge bathroom.
Bathroom.
His and her sinks.
while the master's got its own dining area.
Beautiful,
And it's
beautiful.
an amazing view.
Huge
Absolutely.
big balcony again.
It sounds like Chris could be sorely tempted.
In terms of convincing me to move, a canal side property would be nice. Maybe just on a smaller scale.
Find your own house that suits your own style
Absolutely.
within your budget
Yeah,
on the canals.
I agree.
If that's achievable, then it could be an option.
Definitely.
Canalside living could have Chris sold, but will this property's price put it out of reach of the couple's £650,000 budget?
I think the location's fantastic.
The location's what we would pay the money for.
Yes, I agree.
So, do you reckon this is above or below?
I think it's a few 100k over.
Over. Has to be. Should we have a look?
Now I'm intrigued.
Okay.
It's £182,000 over budget and a stretch too far.
Yep. That's what we thought. So it's £832,000.
Just wouldn't pay it.
Couldn't pay it.
Well, couldn't. I didn't think we'd pay it.
The Pinnocks property hunt has been a day of mixed results. House number 1 was a hit with everyone, but too far from the city. Property 2 had space for parents and parties and could allow the couple a house back home. And the final house was a complete showstopper, just with a price tag to match. So when it comes to houses, has Chris been impressed enough to buy into Erin's dream of a life down under?
After viewing properties in Australia today, it's time to vote.
Australia.
Australia.
Yay! Yay, why did you choose Australia?
I don't think we disagree that the houses in general, you can get more for your money in Mandurah.
You get more land, you get more space, and you get the outdoor living. So it has to be Australia. I was quietly confident that whatever houses we saw, that he would hopefully vote Australia. But it's the first step to getting in here. So we've just got a few more steps, and then he'll be on the plane.
You never know, Erin. It's only his first vote, but Chris choosing Australia is a big boost for Erin's hopes of returning home. For him, though, uncertainty over job prospects down under is a key concern. Securing the right role will be crucial if Erin's dreams to remain on track. Back in the UK, she's a paediatric physiotherapist.
I look after children from 0 to 19 years of age with kind of developmental delay or neurological conditions.
It's a career she loves and would want to continue down under.
It is my dream job, and it would just be the hope that I'd be able to find a similar job in Australia with the same kind of job satisfaction and enjoyment that I have here.
Chris is an investment banker in the UK, and although it's a demanding job with long hours, it's a role he'd find hard to leave.
I like the company I work for, I like the people I work with, and for my age, I'm doing well.
Initial research has shown Chris his specific role wouldn't exist in Perth.
The job that I do is fairly specialised, so there is a driving factor that I would have to just completely retrain, so to speak, or go into a new industry.
And Erin's worried that could be a deal breaker.
If we don't get an appropriate job or a transferable job for him, then I really do think that it wouldn't be the right move for us.
With Erin's dream hanging on Chris finding the right job, we've arranged for him to visit one of Perth's leading recruitment agencies. He's met by General Manager Bruce Henderson.
How are you? Good.
Straight away, Chris is keen to know if his specialist skills could transfer to other industries down under.
Project management clearly is an underlying skill set that sits with what you do. So those sorts of roles are certainly available.
I've done research, but only in the specific industries that I kind of know.
Whether it be within the Again, you know, the banking financial services industry, whether it be with the mining companies, I mean, they're certainly all endeavouring to be more efficient. So project management as a discipline, you know, that's a very genuine option.
So a role could exist. Across town, Erin's visiting the Centre for Cerebral Palsy, where she's met by manager Dawn Brodie.
Nice to meet you, Dawn. I'm Erin. Wonderful to meet you.
Erin's keen to hear if the role of physio down under could offer her the same job satisfaction as the UK.
We've got 24 centres or 24 buildings around the community, and we support people not just with cerebral palsy, for example, children with autism and other diagnoses as well.
It's brilliant to hear, for me, that there is kind of a variety in what I would be seeing.
So would Erin's UK qualifications be recognised?
The first phase is that it's a good idea to actually go along to the Australian Physiotherapy Council to actually get your training accredited. We've got a number of occupational therapists and speech pathologists that have come over from Ireland, from Scotland, from the UK, so we do have a few people who have actually made that big jump.
That's reassuring, but Erin knows affording a move will mainly rest on Chris's earning power. Across town, he's about to get an answer to the all-important question of salary.
I would estimate somewhere in the range of around 120,000 Australian dollars, which I think converts to around about 70,000 pounds.
That's more than what I'm currently on. Definitely in line with the expectations of my current career, so it would be good to know that it's got a similar kind of outlook. Appreciate your time, thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Good luck with the hunt.
Chris may need to change careers, but the salary could make it worthwhile. Ideally, Erin would like to work part-time, so she can be at home more with Isla. It's something she can't afford to do in the UK, but could it be an option down under?
If you're working about 3 days a week, you'd be getting about $57,000, which is about 32,000 English pounds, from what I gather.
Yes, fantastic news.
That's the equivalent of Erin's full-time wage in the UK.
It's a little bit mind-blowing for me to think that I could continue to receive kind of a full-time wage that I would receive in London, but work part-time and still be able to enjoy being a mother, as well as enjoy being a physiotherapist at the time.
Erin could have the best of both worlds in Australia. But has Chris heard enough to put his work concerns to bed?
So how was your day?
Overall, it was quite positive, but in line with what we thought.
Yeah.
I think we still have the same reservations. It was good. It's good money, don't get me wrong. It would just be my main concern is the changing careers.
It's just probably going to be too hard to convince you. I know already.
Is Erin's prediction correct?
So after looking at our job opportunities today, it's time to vote.
UK.
Undecided. Predictable.
I'm surprised by that.
I just went in the middle because it could swing either way. But if you found a good job here, we could be happy. But if you didn't, we'd be moving away from a job that you love and enjoy and to something that you wouldn't be as passionate about, and I don't want that.
It doesn't kill the dream for us. It does exactly what we've always wanted it to do, which is provide more information.
To me, it's not stopped the dream, but probably just made it a little bit harder.
Career concerns have seen Erin's hopes for a move back home hit a stumbling block. But will the couple's finances down under play in her favour? Getting the right price for their UK property would be a good start. The couple believe their UK home is worth £440,000. With Isla looked after by a childminder, they sit down to discover if 2 local estate agents agree.
You ready?
Let's go.
I'm excited. Let's watch.
Nice house, nice bright entrance. Okay, well instantly you've got the high ceilings. I love the strip flooring. It's really nice. It's added to retain some of the character of the house. A lovely main reception room.
Kitchen's not a bad size, slightly dated, however, very functional and clean and tidy.
Wow, it's an interesting space here. You've got the 2 separate rooms. Instantly I'm looking at this wall and thinking opening it up could be a great idea to create this big family space. Oh, now this is interesting. We've got a large family bathroom here with a double shower.
Decent sized master bedroom, nice and light. It's nice you've got these wardrobes here and the bay that lets in all the lights.
In the current market conditions, I would value the house at £565,000 and for a quick sale, £550,000.
I would value this property within the region of £550,000 and for a quick sale, I would value this property within the region of £525,000.
Whoa.
That's good news.
That's one way of putting it. It's around £100,000 more than Erin and Chris expected.
I'm just blown away by that.
I'm shocked that it's that high. In a funny way, I don't know if it's going to make the move easier or not, because we're leaving a country where house prices are in the middle of a mini boom. Moving away would be scary because you always think, could you afford to come back?
The valuation may be encouraging, but Chris isn't getting too carried away. Next up, the couple tackle how their finances would pan out down under. To help them do the sums, we've provided a comparison of costs, beginning with a weekly grocery shop.
Get started. Nappies are cheaper here. Lots of bigger numbers though.
Bread's more expensive. You know that beef is cheaper here,
Like
but
casserole, meat
pork's
and all
more
that.
expensive.
Oh no, devastating.
Beers.
Beers are more expensive.
So how does the weekly shop add up?
For this being £20 difference a week, it's okay.
Around £80 more a month wouldn't be too big a stretch, but how will the bigger costs down under compare to home?
So, we're going to work this out based on the first property because that's more kind of the mortgage that we were
Looking towards.
looking to afford.
The couple's mortgage payments would increase by 50% in Australia, meaning their total spend would rise by
Nearly £700 more a month. That's a lot.
I don't think either of us expected it to be that high.
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
The calculations could see any hopes of a homecoming cancelled for Erin. But potentially higher earnings for Chris may be enough to cover the shortfall. Taking the couple's Australian incomes into account, how do the numbers add up?
So how much better off will we be per month moving to Australia? Am I right? It's big.
Right,
And this is in pounds. £725. Better off.
Well played.
Well played.
Yeah.
Overall, the couple would be nearly £9,000 a year better off in Australia.
It's a lot of money per year. Yes.
That's a lot. It's shocking. I'm shocked. I'm pleasantly shocked.
It's so hard to argue with you.
He's gone silent because he cannot argue. Because you always thought it would be more expensive to live here. This is like being an 8-year-long argument that I have won.
There's no denying the figures are positive, but are they good enough to convince Chris?
Based on the facts and figures this morning, Erin and I now need to vote.
Australia. So we all know mine because we are £8,000 better off in Australia. Can you please justify as to why financially you voted England?
The reason why we would be £8 better off is because
We're in Australia.
is because I'd have to change careers and retrain.
I completely appreciate
So
that.
my
the question
reality-
is based on what it costs to live a day-by-day basis in England and what it costs to live a day-by-day basis in
What about
Australia.
cost on me, though?
Even the promise of a higher disposable income down under hasn't been enough to persuade Chris to give up his career at home. Erin holds cherished memories of a perfect childhood spent down under in the great outdoors. So will a day out in the Aussie sunshine convince Chris it could be the best thing for Isla too and help bring Erin's dream back on track? The Pinnock set out by ferry for a day trip to Rottnest Island. It holds a special place in Erin's heart as the location of childhood holidays.
You see the ocean?
I absolutely love it along here, Chris. Literally have so many fond memories of a childhood, just riding around the island with all my sisters and family. It's just so beautiful.
But straight away, Chris is quick to defend the land he loves.
But it's similar to a place like Cornwall. You can get this back home, it's just that
I'm not denying, I'm seriously not denying that you've got absolute beauty in England.
you just wouldn't have this weather at the start of winter.
You wouldn't have this weather, and I think Australia has such varied beauty as well. But I'm not saying one's more beautiful than the other. I'm just
Okay.
saying we've experienced English beauty, now let's experience Australian beauty.
Good sell.
Thank you.
Hungry after their ride, the family head for a spot of lunch and bump into an island native.
Isla, can you wave to the quokka?
Today's reinforced Erin's belief Australia is where she, Chris and Isla should be.
It's kind of made me realise how much I loved Australia and the Australian lifestyle growing up, and I just want Isla to kind of come out here and enjoy that lifestyle. So today has just been kind of like really important for kind of cementing that in my mind, but also hopefully in Chris's.
And Chris has seen some appeal.
Today's been fantastic for Isla as well as for Erin and I. There's no getting around the fact that the weather here is much better. It's the start of winter here, and yet we're still able to be here, relaxing on the beach, going for bike rides, etc. Whether it's better or worse than England, I think we could probably argue all day long. But we'll just continue to look at both and see what's best for us in the long term.
So when it comes to the vote, has the Aussie sunshine done enough to warm Chris to Erin's idea of a future down under?
After spending an amazing day on Rottnest Island and being able to kind of remind ourselves of what it is to kind of live an Australian lifestyle, we're ready to vote. Australia.
I think the weather overall helps us. I still have very, very strong feelings about growing up in England. However, I think it helps what we do.
By voting Australia, you're not saying that you didn't have a good childhood. You're voting Australia because you want to experience this now.
With Chris's vote split evenly between Australia and the UK so far, where Erin will spend her future is far from certain. For her, moving is all about being close to family down under. So while visiting her hometown, the Pinnocks take the opportunity to catch up with Erin's gran and one of her sisters.
It's really hard. We Skype all the time, we talk on the phone, but nothing takes away, actually. Nothing compares to giving Isla a hug and Erin a hug and Chris a hug.
Oh, I think it'd be great if they came back. I miss them. Miss them all.
Time spent with her family has been a reminder of why Erin's so desperate to come home, but has also made Chris consider who he'd have to leave behind.
It is difficult because, like we said before, it's the same argument both ways. It's extremely difficult. It's horrible. As horrible as it is for Erin, it's as horrible for me as well.
As the final judgment on where they'll spend the rest of their lives draws closer, Erin's desire to move is stronger than ever. But with 2 votes for Australia and 2 for the UK, the decision could all come down to family for Chris. The couple and Isla settle down to watch messages from home together. Will the reality of saying goodbye mean Erin's dream bites the dust?
Isla, do you want to watch the telly? Do you want to see who's on the telly? Here we go. Yeah.
Hello, Chris, Erin and Isla.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Chris, Erin, Isla.
Chris is lots of fun, he keeps Erin grounded, and he's a brilliant dad to Isla.
So obviously me and Chris are twins and obviously have a very special bond and always been very close.
Erin is a very loyal person, and that's something that she shares with Chris. They're both very, very loyal people.
She's always on the end of the phone and she'll always be there when you need her.
She's very busy, but she always makes time for us, and she is the only family that we have here, and we're the only family that she has here.
We all love Isla. She lights up the room, you know, she's got a great big smile on her. She's probably the happiest baby I've ever seen.
Isla's the love of my life. You know, she's the apple of my eye.
Erin's sisters moved back. It became a sort of a stronger likelihood that she was going to go as well.
If they decide not to move to Australia, it then causes a dilemma for us as well. If we did return to Australia, we would be leaving Erin and Isla behind, and that would be a difficult decision for us.
I don't think it's hit us yet, but when it does, I suppose it's going to be a real change in our lives.
Whatever decision that Chris and Erin made, I'd just be happy if I knew that they were going to be happy.
The hole in our lives would be huge. It would be impossible to fill. They are the most important thing.
Obviously, you know you mean the world to us and we're going to miss you loads if you do go, but obviously you have our support with any decision that you do make.
I know that you will make the right decision, the decision that's right for you, and we will support it 100%.
They were lovely messages.
Yeah, they were really good.
It's quite interesting because a lot of it is about the impact of leaving and coming over here and that impact it will have on your family, but it's also the impact it's going to have on my family by staying. So whatever decision we make is actually impacting a family. It's not just one decision is bad and one decision is good. They're both bad.
Yeah, it is difficult. It's not a nice situation that we've got ourselves into.
Erin Pinnock's always dreamt of a permanent return to the country she calls home. And this week has been the best chance she'll ever have of persuading husband Chris to make the move. But with a week of mixed results, has Chris seen enough to grant his wife her wish and leave everything he has at home?
The couple's week in Australia has fuelled Erin's desire to come home.
It's been everything that I wanted it to be and more, really. Literally just that nostalgic kind of blast from the past that's really kind of built a fire in me that just wants me to get back here and wants me to let Isla start experiencing everything that I used to experience.
And their time in Perth has given Chris some much-needed answers.
It's good that we finally have some sort of basis that we can work on.
But he's still wrestling with his upcoming decision.
We both want a fantastic life together, and I think you can have it in both countries, hence why it's so difficult.
And the thought of leaving his family behind isn't making his choice any easier.
I don't want to leave them, and for that reason I completely understand why Erin wants to come. So it's very difficult. It works both ways, which is kind of our problem.
It's an issue Erin truly sympathises with.
Truthfully, I've got kind of two ends of the emotions. I've got that elation that there's a possibility I could be back with my family, and there's also that misery that I'd be asking Chris to leave his.
So when it comes to the last turn of the cards, will Chris choose to say goodbye to the UK and reunite Erin with the family she loves down under?
After this fantastic week we've spent in Australia, it's finally time to do our final vote. Australia. Australia? Yeah.
England?
No, it's Australia, Daddy. No shock at all. It was to be expected away, but I know it just means that we're still undecided as a family, and all it means is that we need to continue to discuss it.
We both know what the underlying reason is. It's not down to house style, it's not down to houses, etc.
So we didn't choose Australia and England, we chose my family and your family?
Yeah, basically. Just got a few more things to talk about. We're more informed than we were a week ago.
We definitely are.
So it's definitely been helpful.
I've always said when, not if, and I'm keeping to that. If it's not now for us as a family, even though I would like it to be, then it may be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. I could retire to Australia as a grey old woman, who knows. I'm keeping the faith, it's when, not if.
Unfortunately, their week down under didn't provide Erin with the breakthrough she'd been hoping for. And it looks as if, for some time yet anyway, it'll be the UK the Pinnocks continue to call home. Wherever their future takes them, we wish them all the best.
Go online to the programme website for an update on the Aussie plans of Erin and Chris. Today, the Flying Doctors have scrambled